I always tell people I have the coolest job in the world. I get to introduce virtual reality to so many different companies, and everyone that we're showing this to immediately realizes how huge this is going to be. We started with the architectural industry as a way of demonstrating the power and potential of virtual reality, because like so many industries, building construction has the potential to be entirely transformed by virtual reality. That may sound like hyperbole, but I honestly think we can do it because the value proposition is so clear. You can look through these magical glasses and inhabit a building that doesn't yet exist. When you think about that, how does that not fundamentally challenge the way we conceive of and visualize architecture? And this isn't some futuristic, far-fetched idea. This is something that we're doing today. We've had the opportunity to bring VR to some of the most ambitious construction projects. From the headquarters of technology companies in the Bay Area, an NBA arena for the Sacramento Kings, we're helping real estate developers pre-sell units. Every single company that we've introduced this to has adopted VR as a part of their workflow. The fact is, people have a very hard time visualizing building designs. You can show them floor plans, you can show them little tiny study models, you can show them illustrations or animations, but those are ultimately distorted and very abstract ways to look at a building, and it's not how we experience architecture in the real world. I find it alarming how often people are surprised when they visit a construction site for the first time. They didn't know how big a certain space was going to be, or how high the ceiling was going to be, or how small their office turned out to be, or whatever the case may be. When people are investing millions of dollars in a new building, and they're ultimately going to have to work and live and play in those buildings for many, many years to come, they should know what they're investing in. They should never be surprised by what the building is like after they've started construction, now that we have this technology. And it's a whole lot easier and a lot less expensive to change a pixel than it is to move a brick wall after it's been built. When you think about it, there's really no excuse for not creating perfectly functional architecture anymore, perfect architecture. When we have this technology now to virtually inhabit buildings before we invest the massive amount of resources that it takes to make them real. Particularly in building construction, this industry's come a long ways, but it's still one of the most inefficient industries on the planet. And it's just really important to get it right. It's a tremendous amount of responsibility. And that's ultimately why we're doing this. Virtual reality has the potential to help people understand very complex systems like architecture in a way that nothing else comes close to. So until now, we've been providing services. We have a great team, we have a very efficient workflow, and we've got a bunch of tools that we've developed over the years. But if we're serious about inciting real transformation across the entire industry, because of the magnitude of what's at stake here, it has to be much bigger than what we can accomplish on our own. I'm so excited to introduce the Immerse framework, which puts all of our best tools in the hands of VR developers in a way that's never really been done before. And I can't wait to see particularly what the architecture industry does with it, and how we can expand that toolset over time to be useful in a variety of different industries. So we're establishing partnerships with in-house development teams at architecture, construction, real estate companies to help facilitate this transition. And our goal is really to support them in any way that we can to bring all of their projects to virtual reality. Now that we have this capability, I think it's irresponsible to create a building if you haven't tested it virtually first. And there's really no longer any excuse for not creating perfectly functional architecture. And how often in a lifetime does a technology come along that has that much potential?